Developing your level of understanding and intelligence in relationship is one of the deepest areas of life where true understanding is needed. Most of us enter into relationships with desires, expectations, and unconscious needs. We want to feel loved, secure, and important. But these wants often blind us. Instead of seeing the other person as they are, we see them as someone who should fulfill our needs. This is not intelligence. It is emotional dependency. Real intelligence in a relationship begins when you stop asking, "What can I get from this person?" and start asking, "Who is this person really?" When you shift your attention from desire to understanding, everything changes. The relationship becomes alive, free, and deep. To understand someone, especially someone you love, you have to observe them completely, not just their words or actions, but their silences, their moods, their pain, their joy. You must learn to look at her, not with the eyes of judgment or past memories, but with fresh attention. Maybe she's sad today, maybe confused, maybe silent. And instead of reacting, you pause and observe. You ask yourself, why is she feeling this way? You don't jump to conclusions. You don't immediately say she's wrong or she should behave better. That kind of reactive thinking is rooted in ego. Intelligence steps back and watches. It wants to understand, not control. Many times in a relationship, misunderstanding happens not because people don't love each other, but because they don't see each other clearly. They are too busy projecting their fears, desires, and insecurities. A man may expect his partner to always be cheerful and caring, and if she has a bad day or needs space, he feels rejected. A woman may expect constant attention and reassurance, and when she doesn't get it, she feels unloved. But all these feelings come from a mind that is centered on itself. It wants to possess, to secure, to control. Love cannot grow in such a mind. Love grows in a space where both people are free to be who they are, and this space is created by intelligence. For example, imagine your partner is upset and not talking. The usual reaction is either to get angry, feel hurt, or ignore her. But an intelligent mind asks, what is happening in her world right now? It tries to understand her inner condition, not just her outer behavior. Maybe she had a rough day. Maybe something triggered a deep memory. Maybe she doesn't even know why she feels low. Instead of reacting, you sit with her in silence. You listen if she speaks. You hold her hand if she needs comfort. You don't try to fix her. You don't try to make it about you. You just understand. This quiet presence without judgment, without demand, is one of the purest forms of love, and it can only come from intelligence. To be intelligent in a relationship also means to be present. Often, we are physically with someone, but mentally somewhere else. We are thinking about work, the past, the future, or our own thoughts. But the other person can sense it. She knows when you're not really there. Presence is the greatest gift you can give to someone you love. To look into her eyes and really see her. To listen to her words without preparing your reply. To feel her mood without trying to fix it. When you are fully present, she feels seen. And when a person feels seen without being judged, they open up like a flower. They feel safe, they feel valued, and in that space, true love grows. Intelligence also means letting go of the need to always be right. In relationships, small arguments can turn into big wounds simply because both people are defending their own point of view. But what if you paused and asked, is being right more important than being connected? Sometimes simply saying, I understand how you feel, can heal more than 100 explanations. Not because you are agreeing with something false, but because you are choosing to understand rather than dominate. You are choosing love over ego. That is intelligence. And remember, to understand someone fully, you must also understand yourself. You must know your own reactions, your fears, your habits. You must be honest about your need for approval, your fear of abandonment, your hidden expectations. When you understand your own inner landscape, you stop blaming others for your emotions. You take responsibility. Then, when you see your partner getting angry or upset, you no longer take it personally. You know it is her pain, her process. You support her without trying to fix her. You give space without withdrawing. You remain centered, open, compassionate. This is not weakness. This is deep strength. It is the strength of understanding. Let's say you find yourself getting jealous because she's talking to someone else. The insecure mind says, "She will leave me. I'm not enough." But intelligence steps in and asks, "Why am I feeling this fear?" It doesn't blame her. It looks inward and understands the root of the feeling. Maybe you have been hurt in the past. Maybe you fear loneliness. But now you see it clearly, without judgment. And in that seeing, the fear loses its power. You no longer act out of it. You talk to her with honesty, not accusation. You express, not possess. You love, not control. This is intelligence in action. Also, to be intelligent in love means to allow change. People change. Emotions change. Relationships go through seasons. Sometimes there is closeness, sometimes distance, sometimes joy, sometimes sorrow. An unintelligent mind panics when change happens. It wants to freeze love in a perfect image. But real love flows like a river. It accepts the ups and downs, the ebbs and flows. When you love someone with intelligence, you allow her to grow. You don't keep her trapped in your idea of who she should be. You support her becoming, even if it means letting go of your comfort. That is true love. That is true intelligence. Finally, don't seek perfection in the other person. She will have flaws just like you. She will make mistakes just like you. But if you can see her completely, her strengths, her weaknesses, her beauty, her wounds, and still say, "I choose to be here. I choose to understand," then that love becomes a mirror of your own growth. Through understanding her, you understand yourself. Through loving her, you deepen your intelligence. And through walking together without judgment, you create something sacred, a relationship that is not based on need or fear, but on awareness and compassion. As we come to the deeper layers of understanding, we begin to see that real intelligence is not separate from life. It flows through every moment, every interaction, every silence. It is not something you study or memorize. It is something you live. It is the way you observe a tree in full bloom and feel grateful without needing to explain it. It is how you listen to someone's pain without interrupting. It is how you sit quietly with yourself and watch your thoughts without judging them. It is a silent movement in you that sees clearly, feels deeply, and responds truthfully. And to grow this intelligence, you don't need 1,000 books. You need a deep willingness to see life, people, nature, and your own mind as they are, not how you wish them to be. To be intelligent is to live without illusions. It is to be free from the prison of beliefs, labels, and ideas forced upon you by religion, society, or family. The moment you say, "I am this," or "I must believe that," you stop seeing. You live in a conclusion. And conclusions are blind. They don't allow discovery. Intelligence means being in a state of learning, not knowing. It means you're always open to the truth even if it shatters your comfort. You do not believe, you see. And what you see becomes your truth. A truth not borrowed from books or gurus, but born from your own clarity. Society loves to give labels. Religious labels, political labels, success labels, failure labels. But the moment you accept a label, you stop being yourself. You start acting according to what the label demands. If someone says you are religious, you may start behaving in ways to match that image. If someone says you are successful, you may fear losing it. But intelligence sees all this and walks away silently. It lives without labels. It is not interested in what society thinks. It is interested in truth. And truth cannot be labeled. It just is. Fragmented thinking is another barrier. When your mind is broken into pieces, this is good, that is bad, this is spiritual, that is worldly. You are never whole. You live in confusion. But intelligence sees life as one flowing movement. There is no division. Work, love, rest, play, silence. Everything is part of the same river. You are not trying to be spiritual in the morning and selfish at night. You are not trying to be wise in public and cruel in private. You live as one whole person, undivided, unmasked. This integrity is the fragrance of intelligence. Also, intelligence never says, "This is the only way." It remains open to all possibilities. It is not stubborn. It listens. It watches. It explores. It can live with questions without rushing to answers. It can look at a sunset and simply enjoy without asking why. It can hear someone speak from a different religion or culture and still learn something. Intelligence has no walls. It is like the sky, open, empty, limitless. And because it is empty, it can contain everything. It is full of space. That is why an intelligent person never feels stuck. Even in pain, even in loss, she remains open to life. She keeps learning, she keeps seeing, she keeps evolving. To accept everything we see does not mean we agree with everything blindly. It means we see things fully before judging. We don't jump to conclusions. We don't immediately call someone bad or wrong. We ask, why is this happening? We ask, what is going on beneath the surface? And slowly, by watching deeply, we begin to understand. We understand people who are angry are often hurting. We understand those who judge us are often insecure. We understand the world's cruelty comes from deep confusion and fear. This understanding brings compassion, not pity, but real compassion. And this is the highest form of intelligence. To know rather than believe is perhaps the most important transformation. Belief is secondhand. It is borrowed from others. You believe in God because someone told you. You believe in success because society defined it. But belief has no roots. The moment life challenges your belief, it collapses. But knowing is different. Knowing is born from seeing. When you sit with your sadness and observe it completely, without running away, you know its nature. When you see your own anger arise and fade without acting on it, you know its movement. When you see yourself clinging to someone and realize it is not love but fear, you know what attachment is. This knowing is direct. It is not taught, it is realized. And this realization is the foundation of intelligence. Even pain becomes a teacher in this way. Most people run from pain. But intelligence says, let me understand this pain. It watches the thoughts, the fears, the memories behind the pain. It sees the ego reacting, the mind resisting. And in this clear seeing, the pain slowly transforms. You realize you are not the pain. You are the awareness watching it. You are not your thoughts. You are the space in which they come and go. And from this space, wisdom arises. A calm, silent, deep wisdom. Not from books, not from belief, but from your own seeing. To live with intelligence is to live with peace. Not the peace of escaping the world, but the peace of understanding it. You walk through chaos with a quiet mind. You deal with problems without panic. You speak when needed, and stay silent when silence is deeper. You don't carry the burden of, I must prove myself. You live simply, attentively, and truthfully. You know that life is not a competition but a journey of discovery. You know that love is not about needing, but understanding. You know that success is not about fame but inner clarity. And you live from that knowing. And finally, intelligence is not separate from love or from awareness. It is love. It is awareness. When you are fully aware, you are intelligent. When you are truly intelligent, you are loving. Not in a romantic or dramatic way, but in the sense that your whole being becomes gentle, spacious, real. You stop trying to win. You stop trying to impress. You simply live. And in that simple living, you touch the sacredness of life itself. Every tree, every face, every moment becomes alive. Not because the world changed, but because you changed. You began to see. And to see is the beginning of everything.